All right, everybody, we're going to go ahead and do a do now on finding slope. After this, you're going to go ahead and watch some videos from Ms. Chemris, okay, on slope intercept form. That's going to be your main lesson for today. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and do this do now. You can go ahead and do all these problems first and then come back to the video and kind of fast forward through to see, check your answers. And then if you need further help on any of the individual topics, go ahead and just watch the whole video. That's what's kind of cool about these videos. You can do it at your own pace and watch it as many times as you want. So the problems we're going to do is 6B, 2, 4, and 6. And then we're also going to do 2C, 12, 14, 15, 16. So all about finding slope. And then also these bottom ones where we're given the slope, but we have a missing coordinate. So let's go ahead and do it. So on these first three, when we are given a graph and we're asked to find the slope, we can just count rise over run, right? We're trying to tell the steepness of this line, by finding our slope. So this first one I'm looking at, I already can see this is a special case, right? This is a horizontal or a vertical line, in which case we'll go ahead and I'll use rise and run in a second, but what I prefer for us to do is get in the habit of seeing, when you see a vertical line, so directly straight up and down or left and right, I want you to think of those words, hoy and bucks. So I'm going to write them both down, and we're going to identify which one this is. So this is, let's see, hoy or bucks. There we go. Bucks. All right, so we look at horizontal or vertical, right? H or V. This one is horizontal, so therefore it is a hoy, okay? We're asking for slope here, and the letter that refers to slope in both of these words is the middle letter. So in this case, it's a zero slope. Okay, if it was a bucks, it would be an undefined slope. So remember, from slope dude, vertical slope is undefined. So anyway, this literally, the answer, M equals 0. And that's it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and prove it to you real quick with just rise over run. But yeah, that's all you have to do for these ones. Okay, for those special cases. All right, let's go ahead and do rise over run though as well. So we have M equals our rise. Well, let's see. If we start at this point, to get level with this one, we don't have to rise at all. So our rise is 0. And then to run, in this case, we run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So therefore, positive 6 to the right. This simplifies to 0. So our slope for this one, like I said a second ago, is 0. Okay, when we have 0 on the top, the answer is 0, and 0 is on the bottom. Underneath, it's undefined. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and find the slope for these two. So I'll start with this bottom point. We'll switch it. So I'll go with the bottom point on this one, and I'll go with the top point on that one, just so we can see the way that we're doing it. So remember, I just realized I messed up our rise over run over here. Check this out. There we go. Right, that makes sense. Let me go ahead and change the colors so they match up. There we go. So yeah, rise up and down, run left and right. So here we go. We're going to start from this first point down here, and we're going to rise. Always do your rise first. Whether it's up or down, always do the vertical, the Y, change your Y first. So here we go. I'm going to go to get level with this point. I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I went up, so that's positive. All right, so I'm going to write that down. M equals, and then we're going to go ahead to the right in this case, which is also positive. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll put that on the bottom. And that's it. No simplifying needed here. 5, 6 is our answer. That's it. All right, next one. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and start from the top point this time just so you can see what that's like. So here we go. So I'm going to go up and down first again, right? So here I go. I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4 points, or four moves. So it's a -4 because I went down. And then my run is going to be 2, and it's a positive 2. All right, so this needs simplifying. So we can go ahead and write this as, -4 divided by 2 is -2. All right, so there's our answer here. I'll write these at the bottom so you have a final answer. Nicely shown. All right, so there you go. Not too much more to say here. Remember that we could go up first. So this would be a rise of 4. And then we go to the left 2. So that would still be a +4 over a -2, which still simplifies to -2. Okay, that's it for looking at it visually. to the graph. Let's go ahead and check it out when we are given 2 points. Okay, so what I have here, let's make sure this is written correctly this time. Y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. All right, this looks good. So this is change in y over change in x, which is identical to rise over run, really. So let's go ahead. Let's give it a shot. We're going to go ahead and label these. So this is my x1, y1. Remember, 1 is just your course, like it's referring to your first point. And this is our second point. If you decided you wanted to change them, you could, right? You could say that the 1, negative 12 is my x1, y1 point. That's fine. And the other one is 2. You're going to find you get the same answers. So let's go ahead and plug this in. Now, I always tell my students, always, to put these red marks first, right? I put them in red to show. I want you to do this first. It might seem silly, and I know I annoy my students because I make them say that first before we actually do the problem, but it helps to deal with negatives, and I shall show you in a second right here. So m equals, we're going to do y2, that's negative 12, minus y1, which is a negative 4. Okay, I'm going to show you this way first. You can just write it as negative 4. I'll show you the alternative way to do it on this next one. So then we have 1 minus a negative 12. So I'm going to write a minus a negative, 18. 18. Okay, the idea there was up at the top, we have a double negative. So we're going to have to do keep change opposite, right? So we could just go ahead and make these both plus signs. Alternatively, at the bottom, I did 1. The minus was already there, and it was a negative 18. I knew that was going to do a keep change opposite, so I just wrote that negative sign almost like, finishing the plus sign. You can totally do that. So let's go ahead and actually add these and get our final answer. Negative 12 plus 4 is going to be negative 8. 1 plus 18 is 19, and that's all we have. Okay, we can't simplify this any further. So our slope is negative 8/19. All right, let's go ahead and do this last one. I'm going to go ahead and use, if I run into any negative signs, I'm going to go ahead and use this bottom method where you just kind of finish out the plus sign. So what do we do first? Get those red marks in, right? Almost looks like a big division sign. All right, so in this case, we have y2 is 5, y1 is 13. So 5 minus 13. Then we have negative 19. Minus a negative 19. All right, let's go ahead and do this one. So 5 minus 13, that gets us negative 8. Negative 8. Move this over. And then when we do negative 19 plus 19, that gets us 0. Ooh, we have a 0 in the denominator. Okay, so unlike this one a second ago, let me go back. This first one, has 0 in the numerator, so that was 0. When we have a 0 in the denominator, when I say, or the hint I give is, if the 0 is underneath your fraction, it is undefined. Undefined. Okay, so this is our slope. That is our slope for this one. Okay, notice it's not a numerical value. You cannot divide by 0. When we do that in a problem, it is undefined. Let's go ahead and put this in here too. Let me see. Anything to add on that? Note that with an undefined slope, this is going to end up being a Buck's line. So you can even visually think about what it would look like. You don't have to do this technically right now, but just to think about it, there's going to be one of those that kind of graph like this. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and do these other two. Now, these two are also going to use this same formula. We'll go ahead and bring it down. Okay, we're going to use the same formula here. It's just that now we have a missing coordinate point. You'll notice them here. Okay, and this time we actually have the slope. We're not looking for the slope. We have the slope. So let's go ahead and plug these values in. All right, so our slope is 4/5 for this one. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. 4/5 is equal to, and then guess what I'm putting, right? Put that down first. So we have 9. Let's label these this time. We have x1, y1, x2, y2. All right. Let's go ahead and plug these in. So 9 minus 5, and then x minus 2. All right. So what we're going to do with this is essentially we have a proportion. Okay, we essentially have a proportion. Now, take note that sometimes it'll give you a slope that's just like 4, in which case you have something like this. If that's the case, make it a proportion. Put it over 1. Put it over 1 real quick, because that way you can use our cross products, which we're about to use in this problem right here. So in this case, though, it was 4/5, so it's already a fraction. So what we're going to do is we are going to first start by combining where you can. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight there to show you. Okay. 9 minus 5, we can just do that. So go ahead. So 4/5 is still here. Let me make this thin again. 4/5 is still here, is equal to 4 over x minus 2. Now, there's nothing more we can do. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do cross multiplication. Okay, this is what we do to solve proportions. We know that the one diagonal, in this case, 4 times 5 is 20, is equal to the other diagonal. Now, when we multiply these, since there's an expression here, we're going to throw parentheses in. Okay, so that way, when we multiply these, we're just going to go ahead and write it like this. 4 times x minus 2. So right now what we have is a fairly simple equation, okay, that we can go ahead and solve. So let's distribute. 4x minus 8 equals 20. We'll add 8 to both sides. And we're basically there. Let's divide by 4. And so x is equal to 7. And that's our final answer. All right. So what we're saying here is that this value right here must be 7 in order for there to be a slope of 4/5 between these 2 points on the line. Okay. But again, the answer here is that x equals 7. All right. I want you guys to go ahead and try this one right here. You can pause the video. And then in just a second, you can unpause it. And I'm going to just do the whole problem for you right now. All right, I'll probably do this one with less talking just so you can see the answer. All right, here we go. Oh, you know what? I got to lead by example. I got to do the same stuff I'm requesting you guys to do. There it is. Now let's go ahead. And there you go. All right. Notice in this one, since we have a 1 up here, when we distribute that to x plus 2, nothing really happens, right? So this one's actually not, it doesn't have very many extra steps. So that's our process. Okay. Again, feel free to watch this video as many times as you need. You might have fast forwarded through just to check to make sure your answers are correct. That's fine. But yeah, then you can go into those videos on slope intercept form. All right. Have a good day, everybody.